Hi, YouTube. Rix here, and welcome to part 3 of the series of condensed video drawing tutorials. Whew, that's a mouthful. Anyway, what I'm actually saying is that I had done 3 live sessions on this young man drawing back here you see behind me. And they're very long, like each one was like an hour and a half long. So that's 4.5 hours of material that I need to compress down into smaller parts. So this is part 3, and this is the last of the material. So this will be the end for this mini series. And then after I do another live session, I will have more material to continue on this series. So for now, glad you can catch up. And thanks again for watching, and let's get right to the tutorial. Oh, by the way, I forgot something. Check out my t-shirt. If you can see it, you can draw it. Rixcandoit YouTube tutorials. Okay, we can go now.
Okay, what I'm going to start off with here is my Conte de Paris 3B charcoal pencil. It's that charcoal pencil that I reviewed that has a slight waxy feel to it. I really love using this pencil. And I'm going to start on this kid's left eye, which is the right eye to all of us watching. And starting with the pupil, and it's the darkest area of any of my portrait drawings would be the pupil, and so want to make sure that that is absolutely as dark as possible. Okay, so at this part here I will of course be zooming it. Well, catch your breath. We've made it to the other side of that. All right, I'm taking my paper blender here and I'm going over the pupil. And the reason why is because I do not want any white specks from the paper showing through whatsoever. So I'm going to just blend this in so that it is a solid black circle for this pupil here. And I'm going to just continue using this blender with whatever charcoal is still left on it and kind of draw some of the areas and details within the eye. You can do a lot of drawing with your blenders. It goes a long ways. It will be lighter than, of course, using a pencil itself, and that's what I want. And the areas of the sketch that I had drawn out the details is where I'm going over, where I expect to go actually a lot darker than I'm doing right now, but you know, you just have to build on it layer by layer. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this area done here, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, now I pulled out my Castle Art Supplies charcoal. I believe it's a medium. It feels like a medium. I've pretty much sharpened it down to where I can't tell what it is, but I just pretty much pick up whatever, and if it feels right, it feels right. Otherwise, I'll go to something different. And I'm darkening in the areas that need to be darkened in because I use the paper blender just to kind of put a base tone down, and it also reminds me of the areas that I want to focus on. And so I'm going to go in here now and work on the details, all the dark areas that I see on the reference photo, as you can see, and do as much as I can with this pencil before I move on to something else. Okay, now I'm using my General's Extra Hard Charcoal here. I'll use this for fine, dark details that I want to get in there, or just very, very fine details. Like within this area of the iris, the areas around here, I need to get a little bit darker, but I don't want to get dark, dark like the pupil, and the Extra Hard won't get that dark. So I'm using it because I can get a really fine tip on it. You can see I have a really extra long tip on it. I like that on all my pencils. And that new sharpener that I'm using, if you've seen that review that I did on the AFMAT artist sharpener, I can get these really long tips. And so that's what I'm doing here is just all the nice little dark details I'm going to want to put in with this pencil here. And of course you're going to see I'm going to switch back and forth from one charcoal pencil to another. But this one here, it's almost like when you're using this extra hard charcoal, it just borders on being like a graphite pencil at times. It can't really get as dark as a regular charcoal pencil can because it's really hard, and it almost is light enough to be like one of the dark graphite pencils. So you'd have to experiment with it, but I'll use it here for the details because I'm using a lot of charcoal in this drawing, especially in the eyes, and so I'm going to stick with it as much as possible. All right, well, the time to accelerate. Okay, I'm going to go back to the Castle Art charcoal pencil again, the medium charcoal, and put a few details in. And then I'm going to go back to my paper blender and do a whole lot of drawing with it. So here we go. Okay, time to return to my extra hard General's charcoal pencil for those fine little dark details. I'll take note that I always use a blender after I apply charcoal or pencil. And now I'm going to go back to the Conte de Paris 3B, very, very dark charcoal pencil. And so I'm going to work on putting in some very dark details. Okay, now I'm going to go back to blending, and then I'm going to use the extra hard charcoal pencil again and alternate between the blender, the eraser, and the extra hard pencil, putting in these very fine details of a little dark, a little light, and then blend them out. Okay, so you see what I've been doing. I've been alternating between an extra hard and a medium and a dark charcoal pencil, going in there, taking some highlights out with the eraser, and of course always blending after I'm applying either charcoal or graphite. So for the remainder of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and put it into time-lapse, and I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you in the next video.